The world is holding its breath once again. A new statement from Russian President Vladimir Putin has sent a chill through Europe and beyond. Speaking from the Kremlin, he spoke of unfinished business and the need to secure Russia's borders by creating a sanitary zone. This language, while vague, is widely seen as a direct threat, a signal of a new aggressive phase in the war against Ukraine. The phrase sanitary zone implies pushing Ukrainian forces far enough back to protect Russian-held territory, possibly requiring the capture of major urban centers. The timing of Putin's statement, after months of grinding warfare and a recent Ukrainian push, has analysts on edge. The world is left wondering, is this just rhetoric or the prelude to a major new offensive? For Ukraine, these words are not abstract, they are a direct threat to lives, homes, and sovereignty. Western leaders now face tough questions: how to deter further aggression without risking a wider conflict with a nuclear-armed power. As of June 21, 2025, the world feels on a knife's edge. Putin's words have reset the chessboard, forcing a re-evaluation of the war's trajectory. The focus now shifts to the battlefields of eastern Ukraine, where a nation's fate hangs in the balance. The stakes have never been higher. The world watches, waiting to see what Putin's next move will be. The tension is palpable. The conflict may be entering its most dangerous chapter yet. So, what did Putin actually say, and what does it mean? In his address, he avoided specifics, as always, but military analysts believe the real target is clear: Kyiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, dangerously close to the Russian border. Kyiv has been a target since the war began in 2022. Russian forces tried and failed to capture it, repelled by fierce Ukrainian defense. For Putin, taking Kyiv would be a massive symbolic and strategic victory, reshaping the war's narrative and creating the sanitary zone he demands. Recent weeks have seen a significant Russian military buildup near Kyiv, new encampments, armored columns, and stockpiles of ammunition. This is not a defensive posture, it's preparation for a major assault. The warning signs are flashing red and the window to prepare is closing fast. Putin's message serves as both a declaration of intent and psychological warfare, aiming to create panic and stretch Ukrainian defenses thin. By threatening Kyiv, he forces Ukraine to spread its resources, potentially weakening other fronts. The world is now watching Kyiv, a city at the center of a dictator's ambition and a nation's struggle for survival. The fate of Kyiv could determine the next phase of the war. The city stands as both a prize and a warning. The countdown has begun. Why is Kyiv so critical? Its location, less than 30 miles from the Russian border, makes it both vulnerable and strategically vital. Before the war, Kyiv was a thriving industrial and technological hub, a key node in Ukraine's transport network. Controlling Kyiv would give Russia a vital logistics base for deeper advances into Ukraine. The city is also a symbol of Ukrainian resilience. In 2022, its defense was a major victory, proving Russia's army was not invincible. For Russia, capturing Kyiv would rewrite the war's early history and deliver a devastating blow to Ukrainian morale. Strategically, it would secure Russia's northern flank in the Donbas and force Ukraine to divert troops from other critical fronts. A successful Russian offensive here could destabilize Ukraine's entire eastern defense. Ukrainian commanders are fortifying positions, preparing for what could be the war's most significant battle. The humanitarian stakes are immense. Kyiv still has a large population, and a full-scale attack would trigger a new refugee crisis and massive destruction. The city's fall would be a tragedy for Ukraine and a triumph for the Kremlin. Kyiv is a city Ukraine cannot afford to lose, and Russia seems determined to take. The battle for Kyiv is about more than territory. It's about the future of Ukraine. The world is watching. The threat to Kyiv is no longer hypothetical, it's unfolding now. Recent weeks have seen intensified fighting, with Russian forces launching cross-border attacks and capturing villages near Kyiv. These are shaping operations, probing for weaknesses and securing ground before a larger assault. Russia is using overwhelming firepower-guided bombs, artillery, and drones to destroy Ukrainian defenses and terrorize civilians. Ukrainian soldiers describe the fighting as relentless, a constant struggle to survive under bombardment. Ukraine is rushing reinforcements, elite brigades, new trenches, minefields, and bunkers, but faces severe ammunition shortages, especially for air defense. This shortage means Russian jets can drop bombs with impunity, devastating defensive positions. The fight for Kharkiv is now a test of endurance and supply. Thousands of civilians are fleeing once again, as missile strikes target power plants, homes, and shopping centers. Russia's goal: make the city unlivable, break the will of its people. Yet many residents remain, defiant and determined to stand their ground. The human cost is mounting, but so is Ukrainian resolve. The battle lines are hardening. Kharkiv stands as a symbol of resistance. The escalating threat to Kharkiv has jolted Western capitals into action. NATO and allied nations see this as a serious escalation, prompting new military aid for Ukraine. The US has fast-tracked assistance artillery, air defense missiles, and anti-tank weapons. Crucially, some allies have now lifted restrictions, allowing Ukraine to strike certain military targets inside Russia. This policy shift gives Ukraine a crucial new capability to disrupt Russian logistics and attack staging areas. The decision came after intense debate and pressure from President Zelensky, who argued Ukraine couldn't defend itself with one hand tied. The aid and new permissions are a race against time. Can they reach the front before Russia's assault? Russia is targeting supply routes, trying to choke off reinforcements. The West has drawn a line in the sand, but its resolve will be tested in the coming days. The effectiveness of this support will be measured in the trenches and ruined villages outside Kharkiv. The world is watching to see if Western aid can tip the balance. The stakes are enormous. The outcome here could shape the war's future. We are at a crossroads. The battle for Kharkiv could be a decisive turning point in this brutal war. If Russia captures the city, it would be a strategic victory and psychological victory, emboldening the Kremlin and threatening Ukraine's future. If Ukraine holds, it would prove its resilience and deal a major blow to Russian ambitions. The outcome could force a reassessment of war aims and open a path to negotiation. Yet both sides still believe victory is possible on the battlefield. International calls for peace continue, but a lasting settlement remains elusive. The fate of Kharkiv may determine the war's trajectory for years to come. Are we witnessing the prelude to a new, more destructive chapter, or the moment Ukraine turns the tide? The answer lies in the courage of defenders, the resolve of allies, and the choices of world leaders. The world waits, holding its breath. What will Putin's next move be, and how will the world respond?